Recording in progress. Hello, Liz Cross. How are you?
I'm very well. Happy New Year to
Happy,
you and all your audience.
absolutely. Happy New Year's to everyone. So, and hello, Eric. I'm sure you're there. Pestering Liz.
Happy New Year from Erik,
I love
too.
you. All right,
Oh,
we're going to do mind probes for the year 2023 with the expert in mind probing, Liz Cross, or at least one of the formidable ones. Now, the community sent me this list, and let's start out with Jerome Powell. Can you connect with
ooh.
Jerome Powell?
Yes, I can. Okay. I like to probe him. He's a very interesting fellow. What would you
Yeah.
like to know?
Well, I have a list of questions if we can make it short because I got so many questions. How are you today, Mr. Powell?
He's not good. He's got some personal things going on
Oh,
and he's kind of down in the dumps.
oh gosh. Uh, how would you like to describe the economy in 2023?
Ooh, how would you like to describe the economy heading into 2023? It's diabolical. And he doesn't think it's going to get better for 2023.
I don't think so either. Do you think you're going to hike if we look into the future, hike interest rates even more during 2023?
So what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to move him out to the end of the year. So
Okay,
let's do
good idea.
December 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the first thing that's coming through is the fact that he is fed up with being on the
Fed
Federal
up. Yeah.
Reserve.
Yes.
he's, he's tired of this job. Okay, sorry. What was the question?
What does it look like? What have you done to interest rates this year?
What have you done to interest rates this year? So it feels like he may have raised them just a little bit, maybe one more time, but other than that, they've held off.
Okay. Did you ever pivot during 2023 and lower rates at any time?
Lower rates? No.
Okay. What was the inflation rate at the end of 2023?
What was the government inflation rate at the end of 2023? Ooh, so he just gave me the figure back of 12%.
Okay.
So overall 12%. I think we're at 9 or 10 at the moment, and I think it looks like 12 by the end of the
Okay.
year.
All right. Now, of course, this is a moot question then. Did your plans for reducing inflation work in 2023? So that's a big fat bummer no, right?
For reducing inflation working. No, they didn't want to reduce inflation. Well, so they had trouble reducing it, he says. The real challenge for 2023 is making sure it doesn't rise. So not in reduction mode, but really just trying to make sure there's no more damage.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
What's the main cause of the inflation in your opinion, Mr. Powell?
Inflation, in your opinion. Ooh, bankruptcy. What do you mean bankruptcy? So I feel like this year, a lot of companies have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
obviously,
wow.
that is having a knock on effect throughout the whole, certainly the American public.
Yeah.
People are losing their jobs. They have to spread the costs out of these bankruptcies, and it
Yeah.
will.
That makes sense. All
Yeah.
right. Can we probe Wall Street and look at it through 2023, the stock
Yeah.
market? Okay.
So yeah, I can grab, even though it's not has a soul, I can grab it as an entity, as a consciousness.
Cool. That is so
So
cool.
I'll pull Jerome Powell down. Thank you. Bye. He's leaving.
Thank you.
And let's go Wall Street. December. This is good. December 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, they automatically wanted to go to 2027, and I've told them no. And I know why they want to go to 2027, because they want to report back the good news. And the good news is 2027, 2026, 27 are supposed to be excellent years in the market.
Good. Excellent. What does it look like? at the end of 2023, the stock market, compared to where it is now?
That's a good question. Well, what does the end of the year look like for the stock market? Okay, so they're in recovery. Now, this is consistent with what I get. Uh, Towards the end of this year, we start to see a recovery.
Good.
So, according to Wall Street, we're in recovery.
Okay. Now, was there any major correction in the stock market in 2023? Like, and if so, was it higher than 25%? Was it lower than 50%, etc.?
Is there any major correction in the stock markets in 2023? Several.
Okay.
Several major. Were they more than 20%? Did they drop more than 20%? I don't feel they dropped more than 20% right now. Now, just so everybody knows,
Oh,
a lot
yes.
of times,
I was supposed to do this at the beginning. I forgot. There are some personal questions asked for year 2023. Please know that these sessions are dedicated mostly to general questions and not personal ones. And basically, these are quantum probabilities, people. Okay. It doesn't, there's free will in the world. So these do not necessarily mean that that's the ultimate truth. So you must know that.
well, and also the way I explain it is looking at the end of the year is pretty far out energetically. So the closer we are to the energy, the more accurate it is. But also, a lot of times, psychics don't predict crashes correctly. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because no one's supposed to avoid it. So
Oh,
currently, yeah, I'm not supposed to avoid it. You're not supposed to avoid it. Your 80,000 listeners are not supposed to avoid it, right?
right.
But so currently, what I'm looking at on the timeline is no more than a 20% correction. However, those will be several. And with that in mind, compounding all together, I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. So when is the first major correction? What quarter of 2023?
The first quarter.
Okay. Um, when is the last major correction? Which quarter?
Is it in the fourth quarter? The third.
Third
third.
quarter. All right, good. Would you like to tell us, Mr. Wall Street, any of the most profitable stocks in 2023? Or is that something we can't know either?
Well, I mean, it's better to get a general overview. Which area is profitable as far as Wall Street? Is it, is it oil? See, now before, like last year, we got oil, oil, oil. This year, not so much. I still feel like commodities
Okay.
are quite good. I feel like, what is that? What are you saying to me? I feel like real estate starts to go up. So right now you can get in on some great, REITs and great real estate. So I would say funds rather than just
Okay.
going for one stock. So at the end of the year, the real estate starts picking back up again. Also, what is coming through, like just like General Foods and think food companies, because their prices are going to continue to increase. That is
Yeah.
not going to go down. What about gasoline? No, I'm not. I'm getting a no on gasoline. What about natural gas? No. What about precious metals? Metals are good. What about lithium? I feel like lithium right now is a good place.
Okay.
Anything that does with making electric vehicles, so those sorts of things.
Okay. All right. So like MTFs.
Yes. Yeah, those are okay too.
Okay, good. So we could drop the stock market, thank you, Wall Street, and go on to Bitcoin, if that's okay with you.
Oh yes, yes. I pro Bitcoin all the time.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, can we go to December the 31st of 2023 and see how Bitcoin did and what its peak value was?
1st, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Overall, Bitcoin, how did you do this year? So here we go. Bitcoin did not have a stellar year. It pretty much stayed flat. No massive leaps in prices like we've seen in years past, where it got up to like 40, 50, 60, even 70.
Okay.
I feel like it stays around the 20s for the most part.
Okay. Can you tell what, what month of this past of the 2023 it was at its highest? Or you could say quarter if that's better.
What month were you, or quarter? Which quarter were you at your highest peak? Was it the first? No. Second? No. Third? I feel like third going into fourth. So that
All
would, that sort of further solidifies that towards the end of the year, we're starting to enter into this recovery.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, good. All right, so we're going to drop Bitcoin. And can we
Okay.
show David Lynn, anchor for Kitco News? Now, Kitco News is a global news network. Their aim is to accurately and impartially cover the economy. I never heard of them. Stock markets, commodities, cryptocurrencies, mining, and metals. So can we connect Liz to Mr. David Lynn, Lin?
Yes, I've got him here. Okay.
How are you today, Mr. Lynn?
How are you today? He's stressed. Everybody's stressed today. We're only in
Oh,
the second week of January. They're all stressed out.
yeah,
Why are you so stressed today? Because the economy is not doing well. They're very unsure. Looking at him today, which is January 9th, 2023, they're
mhm,
very unsure what the economy is going to do this year.
right. Okay. All right, let's see. Can you go to the end of 2023 and were there any regulations implicated for altcoins during the year?
Were there any regulations put into place for altcoins? No, not significant regulations. No.
Okay. How many altcoins went to zero in 2023, if any?
Woo! How many altcoins went to zero in 2023? So I feel like several. When he's giving me this information, I'm saying to him, does that mean a lot of them are just naturally dying out? Yes, I feel like a lot of them were just pump and dumps at the time and
Yeah.
they're just gone.
Okay. Was Sam Bankman-Fried arrested in any point in 2023?
Was Sam Bankman-Fried arrested at any point in 2023? So at the end of the year, he says he's already been to trial.
Okay,
And
good.
I feel like there's still a lot of information pending on this trial, but this is what I keep getting consistently, which is Sam Bankman-Fried ends up being the tell-all in the crypto world. He's going to tell everybody how they're getting ripped off, how the companies are doing it, how the exchanges are doing it.
Oh,
And I feel like
wow.
he's going to try and buy his way, or bargain his way out of trouble by giving over information.
Will the Democratic politicians that received funds from SBF return them since they were pretty much stolen from SBF's clients?
The funds from that were given to, well, he gave funds to both sides. Where the
Oh, I
funds
know.
to
That's true, either side, but mostly Democrats, but of course, yes, both sides.
Democrats or Republicans, were they given back? No, he's laughing at me as I ask that. He's like, Liz,
Oh,
don't be foolish.
I know, I figured
But
not.
that was a great question.
That'd be hard to do once you have the money. How did gold and silver do in
Oh, good question.
2023?
How did gold and silver do in 2023? It stays flat.
Okay. Did El Salvador regret at any point in 2023 having adopted Bitcoin as legal tender?
Good question. Did El Salvador at any point in 2023 have any regrets over adopting Bitcoin as legal tender? No, it works for them because they're small.
Oh, okay. All
It
right.
does. It works for them, but it was a big shocker to them. He's saying, this guy is very knowledgeable, by the way. So well
Good.
done, and whoever asked to pick him.
Yeah. Thank you
Uh,
for whoever did. Yes.
yeah. So he's saying, it's manageable because they're small. If we're talking about these large nations like US, Europe, Australia, all
Right.
those big countries, it's unmanageable right
Oh,
now.
yeah. I see. Do you ever think we'll get rid of cash
Do you
so
ever
we
think
can get rid of that underground economy?
Do you ever think we'll get rid of cash? No. According to David Lynn, his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions at the end of 2023, that's a no. He
Okay.
doesn't think we'll ever get rid of cash.
All right. Any major bank failing in 2023?
Ooh, that's a good question. Any major bank failings in 2023? I feel like there's been a lot of mergers. I feel like there's been a lot of banks bailing out other banks. I feel like what's going on is everybody's trying to bail each other out. So the really strong banks are going to start bailing out the smaller ones.
Okay.
And what happens is they become a lot more powerful. So when we wake up in recovery, then we realize, wait a minute, they have all the power. That's not
That's
good.
not good. No. Okay. Any relevant news about the world economy that makes headlines in 2023? Good
Ooh, good question.
question.
Any relevant news about the economy that makes headlines in 2023? There's a crash. So he's saying there's a crash, and I'm saying, when
Oh,
is that? When is that? Is that I feel like it's sort of early summertime. There's a possible real downturn. People were getting he's telling me, really excited over it looked like the economy was in recovery, and then it starts going back downhill again. So then, of course, that just does, disastrous for businesses and for the economy. It's like the hopium is gone.
oh, hopium. I love that. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Lynn, and we'll let you go. And now, can we probe Twitter?
Ooh, Twitter. I'm glad we're probing Twitter and not Elon Musk. Elon Musk is very difficult to probe
I
because
bet he's got an
his
interesting
brain
mind.
works very different to
Yes,
every.
I get it.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, how is Twitter doing nowadays? Is it becoming a healthier and safer place where free speech is encouraged?
Does it become a healthier and safer place where free speech is encouraged? No, no, they feel like it's gone the other way.
Oh,
So this is Twitter as a whole, mainly speaking as the company and the employees that have stuck around,
uh-huh.
right? They're not happy. They're saying no, because now if we're not singing the tune to the right wing, now we're being hushed. So they still believe that free speech is being squashed.
Okay. Can we bring forward Twitter to the end of 2023 and ask how it did last year?
Ooh, okay. December 31st, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, how did you do overall? It lost a lot of money, an insane amount of money. It's losing its popularity. A lot of news agencies no longer want to support Twitter. They don't want to use Twitter. They're looking at other platforms, mainly Instagram. What about TikTok? Not Yeah, TikTok, but not so much. More Instagram than Twitter, and they're just finding places to go elsewhere. Have you lost? They've lost billions.
Mm. Will there ever be any regulation for social media companies like Twitter and Facebook, et cetera, so they do not interfere in um, elections and political activism?
That's a great question. Will there be any regulations? Have there been any regulations that have stopped these social media companies from? So immediately the answer is coming back as yes, but I'm going to finish this from squashing free speech. No, no. It feels like they're having more regulations on free speech instead of, you know,
Terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why, you and I said prior to you hitting the record button, I don't think we should cover XYZ because they'll take your channel down. And I don't want anybody to lose.
Okay, well, I'm not mentioning YouTube. That's for sure. I love YouTube. Love you, YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So here's some just general. Can you get into President Biden's head and see if he's definitely going to run for another term?
Yes, it's a bit late in the day to pro Biden. Normally you have to get him really early.
Yeah, he starts sundowning. I know. Yes.
Yeah, you have to get him before lunch.
Yeah.
But we could try. I mean, let's see, can you answer? Yeah, he's answering. He's bless his little cotton socks. I kind of felt sorry for him.
I know. He's a very likable guy.
Are you planning to run in 2024? So yeah, he's like, yeah, they told me I'm running. So we got to catch him at like 7 in the morning.
Okay. That's so funny. I can understand that. What about Trump and DeSantis? Are they both going to be running?
Trump, are you still planning? Yeah, but he's still running. That's turned into more of an ego thing now. I don't know.
I don't know if I want him to run, frankly speaking, but we won't go there. All right. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll ask DeSantis
Oh,
because
yeah.
I check in with him frequently. Are you planning to run for president? No. So currently, as of today's date, January 9th, 2023, that is a no.
Interesting. All right. Will there be? What does the border crisis look like throughout the year, and I guess at the end of 2020?
That's great. I love your audience and you. I swear,
you guys are brilliant. They're brilliant.
They really are. Let's move the border out. So, December 31st, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, what's going on at the border? Okay, we're full, right? That was the first thing that came back from the border. Which side are you? Are you on the Mexican side? No, you're on the U.S. side. And what's going on? Is there a lot of people? But there's this massive encampment. They're showing me still. At the end of the year, there's this massive encampment. There's been more people down there than ever before. Hundreds of thousands of people. There's some of them with a lot of medical issues. They're poverty stricken. They're not being fed properly. That this is a really bad crisis, and I feel so compared to January 2023. Are you better or so? Okay, so here we go. Much worse by the end of the year.
These poor people. It's terrible.
I know. It is terrible because I feel like, they need medical attention. They're starving. They need water. They've trekked all those miles, some of them thousands of miles, and they're just, they under false pretenses. Unfortunately, everything's rosy and because it's
not had a home. Most of them lived under a roof before they came here.
Yeah, that's what's so sad. And then, it's like they get here and then wait a minute, you mean we can't come in? So I feel like it's just piling up at the border. How are the media portraying the border? I mean, they're trying to report it, but I feel like a lot of the reporting is being suppressed.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think Fox is probably the only one that's really delving deep into it with drone shots and all that. Speaking of drone shots, I thought it'd be interesting to, with the permission of Mexico, send drones to bomb the crap out of the fentanyl labs and the crops, all that just the cartel and their companies. Not them personally, not people, but destroy their facilities and their crops. Will that ever happen in 2023?
That's a good question. Does that ever happen in 2023? Yeah, I feel like it's a work in progress. So I tell you what came through when you were saying that. It was so interesting as you were talking. Spirit and Erik were giving information, and he's like, Mom, the government are in on it too.
Oh, I know. I mean,
that's how they're making
a lot of the Mexican government. Well, the Mexican government in particular. But of course, the cartel has a lot of money. They line a lot of pockets, and that's really awful. How many young people have to die of fentanyl overdoses before somebody grows a conscience and a pair?
Well, I don't understand, and I don't want to get into like a heaviness, but I don't understand. And as a doctor, and maybe you guys weren't aware, but when you were prescribing, not you personally,
Yeah.
I don't know, but as doctors were prescribing opioids, like, were they not aware or given the information of how addictive it was, or maybe we didn't
No, they
test it
knew.
out enough?
They knew, but oh gosh, a lot of doctors are like, well, I need the patient, the business, and they're gonna want to go out of here with a prescription in their hand. So it's a lot of bad stuff. A lot of
Really?
yes, not a whole lot, but there is some. There's corruption everywhere in
Yeah.
every field. You just it's
Yeah.
part of the human experience, part of contrast, right?
Mm, yeah.
But
It's sad.
I know a lot of people who were accidentally, had a reason to take pain medication and then got hooked to it. So, especially
And
oxycontin.
then they're so, like, I know the market value is just so expensive, and then that goes back into your argument about fentanyl, because then they just need the hit and they don't care how they're getting it. And so what is fentanyl exactly? Can you tell
It's
us?
a synthetic opioid that is hundreds of times more powerful than heroin is. And now there's some other, I don't know the name of it, that's even more powerful than that. I mean, if you touch like that one police woman who had gloves on and everything, and she had a bag of pills that she took from somebody, and I guess just a little bit got into her nostrils in the air, just microscopic, and they showed her totally respiratory depression. They had to give her many uh, pumps of nasal um, Narcan. So
Good grief.
it's
It's dangerous stuff. So Erik is saying, I'm saying in 2023, Erik, are we going to see a decline in fentanyl deaths, or
good
are we
question.
yeah,
Yeah,
are we good? Because it's worrying. I'm sure just about everybody has been affected by it now.
yeah,
Are we going to see a decline in fentanyl deaths? No, I feel like it's going to rise. They're producing this stuff. Erik is saying they're producing this stuff at the rate of knots. It's being produced everywhere, wherever they can make it. I feel like a lot of it could be coming in from India as well.
really.
Yeah, but mainly, is it mainly in South America? Yes, it's mainly in South America, unregulated countries, where, and I feel like the governments are pushing it. That's how they're holding their governments up, their countries up, is
Yeah.
through the drug money. So that's pretty sad. I wish that it was a different outcome for 2023, but it looks like we're still going to see those fentanyl deaths.
That's a real shame. And, these government officials, some of them probably don't cross with the cartel because they're afraid for their lives and their families' lives.
Are they afraid for their death? Yes, that is correct. Yes. Yeah.
And China will do anything to keep China from supplying all the ingredients, the precursors for fentanyl to these Latin American countries. I mean,
Well, I feel like they're
possible.
selling it. I feel like they're selling a lot of ingredients on a mass scale,
Mhm.
underground.
Is it the Communist Party, or is it just the government that's doing this, or is it just people and just Chinese people?
Is it the government? No, I don't feel like it's the government, but there's a lot of underground,
Yeah.
the criminal underbelly that's going on. It's going on in containers. People are getting paid off. People that inspect the containers. This is all
Oh
coming in
yeah.
from Erik. People that inspect the containers on either side, they're all paid off, because
Mm.
the reward, the financial reward, when it's all come together, is much greater than just paying a few people off here, there, and everywhere.
Well, will our government um, turn the screws on China, the government, to stop them from like, okay, we're going to stop all trade with you if you don't get this under control? Anything like that? Any U.S. policy that will help?
Let's see, let me group our government together. Have you ever thought about threatening China, putting sanctions on, having ultimatum talks with them about stopping this ingredients for fentanyl. Yes, they have had
Oh,
discussions
good.
like that. What was the outcome? China won't agree to it. They say
Okay.
there's no way to possibly control the problem. They don't know where the root cause is.
Okay. Too bad. Uh, all right. So going on to some general questions, was there any major, and I guess most of these would be for Eric, any major scandal at any point in 2023?
Is there any major scandal at any point in 2023? Okay, I'm laughing because the royal family, but that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things are coming out about the royal family. It's really going to unravel. They're going to find out some details about King Charles that are very unnerving, that make people question his ability to be king. What else? I feel like this year is going to be, this is what Erik is giving us. And thank you so much, Erik. And he's like, sure, tell them I love them.
Oh.
Um, he's, he's saying, I feel like this is the year for exposing. I feel not opening your trench coat, not that type,
Yeah. Right.
not that type of exposing. Don't
Yes.
go out and do that, especially in 20-degree weather. I could never understand flashers in 20-degree weather.
I don't
Um,
know.
that's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. But I feel like this is the year to really expose people, expose their wrongs, expose
Good.
government. So that's what it feels like we're heading into.
I hope so. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Okay. Any news in 2023, Eric, about the Hunter Biden laptop controversy? Shh, Bella, no.
Any news about the Hunter Biden laptop controversy? Yes, that's part of the exposure. I
Okay.
feel like there's going to be indictments,
Okay. All
which
right.
is good news. I mean, just because you're the son of a president doesn't mean that you can behave in that way.
Will he just get off on just lesser charges?
No, I feel like no, I don't feel that. I feel like he's going to be charged.
Okay. What will happen to the politicization of the DOJ and the feds, the FBI?
Ooh, what will happen to the fact that the DOJ, the feds, and the FBI are politicized? All that is part of the unraveling. It's
Okay.
going to come out more and more and more. How they protected him, how they swept everything under the rug. And I feel like there's some more political scandals that we're going to find that have also been exposed in this way. I think this is going to be a bit of a shocker. Financially, it's going to be a bum year, but
Yeah.
I feel like, as far as like our learning and our trust for these organizations that are supposed to care for us and supposed to run our, lives and things like that, I feel like we're going to really start to question them.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Uh, what news is most talked about on social media concerning politics? I guess probably this exposure of stuff, right? Or
Yeah, it's mainly exposure stuff. Yes. Yeah, mainly exposure.
okay,
It's
what?
just,
Okay.
conspiracy theories unraveling and some of it actually being true. So,
Ooh, okay. What is the news that is most talked about on socials about criminality?
I feel what's going on with the Idaho thing? Is that
Not
gone to
grounded.
trial? No, that hasn't gone to trial yet. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's going to be long and drawn out. So I feel like there's a lot of is he going to try and represent himself? No, he's not that stupid. Well, I mean, he's stupid, but yeah.
But
And
he's
don't
very
forget in
intelligent.
our
So,
probe,
yeah.
I said it was one guy and
Yeah.
he's going to
Right.
be wrong.
There we go. That's right.
And so no, I feel like there's going to be a female, unfortunately, that goes missing, and that's going to be a big upheaval.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be looking for her. I feel like it's a younger child. So that's going to be one of the big main stories this year.
Okay.
They never did find that Summer Wells, did they? The little girl that went missing.
I don't
But
know.
I didn't get
I don't
that it
like to
was.
watch that.
Yeah. So it looks like, that stuff. What about mass shootings? Are they still continue? Yeah, unfortunately, mass shootings are still commonplace in 2023. What about school? Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be some schools hit. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody scared because, I don't want you to think I can't send my kids to school because
Yeah.
Liz said, but, unfortunately, this is the world we're in, especially in the USA, and that's going to be an issue.
What about the general crime rate in the U.S.?
Ooh, has the general crime rate gone up or down? It's continuing to climb. We're seeing more crime than ever before, certainly in decades. Not since like the 60s and the mafias and the mobs and all that, but I think we're still climbing. We're still, because Eric is saying to me, we've become too lenient on crime. We're soft on crime.
So
And
will
so
those
that
policies
gives,
change? I mean, I mean, it's just been so obvious that Alvin Bragg's, et cetera, just revolving door, letting people out on zero cash bail and all that stuff. Will those policies change at all in 2023?
2023. I gotta know, unfortunately.
Okay. Anything else about the Idaho student killings that will come up in 2023 of great interest?
Anything else about the Idaho killings that will come up in 2023? I think the biggest thing right now is tying in, excuse me, how he knew them. And he did know one of them.
Yeah.
He did. And I'm still getting this drug factor involved. I don't know how, I don't know where, but I think that's the big defining moment is how they know, because a lot of people are still very skeptical. They're like, wait a minute, he was a PhD student and he was a vegan.
Yeah.
Like, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see I just did a whole thing on the Idaho and Jeffrey Dahmer, and we delved into his mental status. So
Wow.
there is a video we put out, but he's not right in the head. He definitely is not.
Oh no. Okay, so Liz, you want to right now share your YouTube channel?
Oh, well, thank you. I love it. If you all come and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Psychic Liz Cross. So there you go. You can just I've got about 180 videos. I had YouTube shut
Oh,
down one of my
wow.
channels before, but so I've had to like start over, as a lot of people
Oh,
have had to do. And I'm trying to get backup channels and all that now. So yeah, Psychic Liz Cross is where you'll find my videos. Thank you.
awesome. How did Australia do in 2023, Eric, overall?
Australia do 2023 overall. So it fared better than most countries.
Okay.
Economically, they seem to have more of a buffer for some reason. Maybe it's they're so far away, but economically, they seem to be doing better than we are here in the West.
Okay. I think I was supposed to ask these all through Twitter, but I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, how about Europe?
How did Europe do in 2023? Now, Europe is really struggling. Okay, really, really struggling. I feel like there's a lot of poor people. I feel like people that once had a little bit of surplus money are now living on the breadline. What's coming in is they're really struggling to cope financially. There's a lot of strikes. There's a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of uprisings, protesting and things going on over pay.
Oh,
So yeah, it's not good. Europe is really going to suffer. And then if you actually look at some of my previous videos, what's coming in is the fact that it's going to take several years for Europe to recover, more than the US or any other parts of the world.
okay. What about China and Japan? How
China
about
is the
Japan?
first one to start seeing recovery.
Oh, okay. And Japan, will they do okay?
Japan will be slow to recover, but it will definitely start to recover.
What about El Salvador? Someone wants to know.
El Salvador. El Salvador, I mean, it has a lot of problems anyway, but the fact that it's really small, and I feel like it's a real community based place. So people do help one another out. But it is always going to struggle financially.
Oh, okay. Was there any major food scarcity more than than now in any part of the world in particular in 2023?
Any major food scares? Yeah, I feel like Africa is going to have a drought. There's going to be a problem around there. Are there any major food? I mean, food is going to be sparse at times.
Yeah.
For to group the whole world together, it's going to be sparse. The biggest concern right now is with all the C word going on in China. Um, 70% of the workforce is sick. So the supply chain issues may come back again. They're not able to
Gosh.
get the stuff on the containers to ship it off over to wherever it needs to go. Let me ask Eric, are we going to see some more supply chain issues? Yeah, we are. We're going to see some more supply chain issues all the way up till March. So I
Are we
feel like that's going to be an issue.
great? Are we going to start seeing a transfer of manufacturing and stuff like pharmaceuticals, et cetera, back to the U.S. away from China?
No, no, the companies, even though there's all these logistical nightmares, it's still much cheaper. Eric is saying to
Yeah.
produce out in China and Taiwan and Indonesia and those
Okay.
places than it is to produce at home.
Okay. At the end of 2023, is the war still continuing between Russia and Ukraine?
That's a good question. Is the war still continuing between Russia and the Ukraine? No, I feel like they've managed to cut some sort of peace deal.
Good. And in whose favor? Mostly.
Well, Ukraine, so they're not wiped off the map. If
Yeah.
you want to look at it that way. Was there a nuclear bomb that was? No, there's no nuclear. I know Putin is crazy, folks. I know he is, but I keep getting every time I check a no on that nuclear.
Is Putin still alive and in power at the end of 2023?
Ooh, good question. Is Putin still alive and in power at the end of 2023? Yes, he is.
Okay, what about Taiwan? Will China has China invaded Taiwan by the end of 2023?
No, no, they've kind of left Taiwan alone. They do their little threats, their little exercises, but for the most part, they've left Taiwan alone.
Okay, okay. I can see it toward the end. They talk about the C word. We're not some questions on that with Mr. Campbell. I'm not going to do that.
Sorry, and it's not because we don't
no.
like
I had a
questions.
strike already against my channel for that.
Yeah.
Was there any new technology that is developed in the past few years and that was talked about for the first time in 2023?
Ooh, aren't they smart?
They
Is there
are.
any new technology? Is there any new technology that was developed in 2023? I feel like there's a lot of medical advancements coming. I
Good.
feel like there's a lot of cures on the horizon for complex diseases. I feel like it has a lot to do, and Elisa, you'll know this, genome. I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
genetic altering and things like that. So I feel like this
Splicing and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I feel like that's on the horizon. What do you know about that, Elisa?
Not much. I mean, except there are some companies that are working hard on it. They've done it for cystic fibrosis and some other diseases, but we've got some promising optimism in that track. I think it's really a good direction to go.
Yay.
How will Atlantis Scalar do next year?
Yay. How will Atlanta
Same,
do?
better, worse?
I feel like it's just growing. Certainly the news of it is growing more and more and more. Elisa, I don't know how many people you've got doing the scalar, but I think you're going to have to take on a team.
I don't have me. I don't trust anybody else to do it. I might teach my emergency room nurse daughter how to do it, and but I don't know. I mean, I can only do so much. I only have so much bandwidth. Now, can you look and see about helicopter production? Melissa Chavella, and also, she and Paolo want to do a TV series based on the channeling Erik story. Based on truth, fiction based on truth.
That's a great question. How does that progress? I feel like it's still working on it. I feel like go back to the drawing board and revamp it and keep rewriting it. I feel like your magic year for that is going to be 2025.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been told that before.
I haven't really asked. What about the documentary that Paolo's been working on forever? It's supposed to
I
be
feel,
editing in March, but
oh, editing in March. So I got that also, excuse me, would be for release in 24.
okay. Will it go to any film festivals?
I do feel like it's going to go to film festivals. Are they going to be in the US? I don't think they're going to be in the US though.
Okay, that's fine. All right, now, now can we connect with the International Disaster Database, the EM-DAT?
Okay. Wow. Yes. I've got them.
Okay. Oh, bringing it to the end, was there any major earthquake higher than magnitude 7 recorded in 2023?
Eastern Standard Time. Was there any major earthquake above 7 on the Richter scale reported in 2023? Yes. And I feel like it's out in Asia.
Oh, okay. Is that the only one?
That's the major one. That's the
Okay.
major. Was there another tsunami out there?
Yeah,
I
that was
feel like
another
there's
question.
a mini tsunami. Nothing like what we saw before,
Yeah.
but definitely there's going to be something out there that affects a lot of people.
Oh, goodness. Any major floods in 2023?
In 2023. Ooh, I thought the US would see some flooding.
Mm,
More around the South,
okay.
more possibly Texas, Louisiana, sort of. Oh, you're Texas, aren't you?
Yeah.
Texas, Louisiana, not so much Florida, but those sorts of areas.
Hurricane induced?
Hurricane induced? No, that was a good
Really?
question.
Interesting. Will there be a major hurricane hitting the Texas Gulf Coast at all in 2023?
Hitting the Texas Gulf Coast in 2023. I feel like small ones, but nothing major.
Okay, what about the rest of the lower coast and the rest of the US? Florida, the East Coast, any major ones?
Yeah, I feel like Eastern Florida will see something more northern Florida,
Okay.
the Carolinas area. Is it going to be? It's going to be significant. Is it going to be like the one we just had? No, it's not going to be as bad as the one that hit. Like, where was it? Was it Naples or wherever that
Yeah.
place was? I
Yeah.
forgot now. The West Coast, southern West Coast,
Okay.
last year.
All right. Any major volcanic eruptions in 2023?
Ooh, any major volcanic eruption? Yes, I do feel like there is a volcanic eruption. Where is that going to take place? It's on some island somewhere. Again, this is going to be out close to Asia.
Okay, poor Asia. Gosh.
Yeah,
Often the countries that are least equipped to handle disasters like that.
I know. I know. It's sad.
Anything else on the radar? That's my last question. For 2023, Erik?
See anything on the radar for 2023? I think we're going to be able to see a definitive measurable rise in sea levels.
Okay.
I think we're going to start to see that. That's what Erik is saying.
All right. Anything
So,
positive? Go
anything positive? Yes. So on a spiritual level, this is a huge year for learning and growing.
Good.
This is a year of growth, another year of growth. I mean, we've already had that with COVID, the C word. And then now, and last year I think was another year of growth and learning because the economy, you have to remember, and I know, Lisa, you know this, but I'm saying this for the benefit of the audience. I know people get upset because they struggle, but
Yeah.
a lot of that struggle is to cause us to learn and to grow. We
Right.
actually through the other side, and we're much better for it. We
good.
learned so much about ourselves. We
Yeah.
learned so much about our spirituality. So yeah, definitely another year for learning and growth.
Any advice to individuals out there of how to make the best out of 2023? And that is my final question. So, what's your final answer?
I feel like this is a game show. What's your
Oh,
final what would you say? I think it's going to be, and this is according to Erik, I think it's going to be another year about family. I think it's going to
oh,
be about
good.
friends and family, holding your loved ones close, he says, appreciation,
Love it.
gratitude, finding joy in the small things, appreciation of nature, appreciation of the planet. That he's saying, again, out of all of this, we have to go, instead of looking at it on a global scale, we look at we look at it in a microscopic scale, which is, how we're treating each other on an individual basis. So that's what Erik says. I think that's a really nice
Liking
answer.
it. I'm liking it. Thank you, Erik. So one other question I was going to ask.
He says, Mom, I love you.
I love you too. I can't remember now. I'm still recuperating. All right. Well, thank you, Liz Cross, psychiclizcross.com, right?
Yep, Psychic
I
Liz.
got it right finally. All right, you guys, be sure you visit her and her YouTube channel.
Yeah, don't forget the YouTube. You can get a lot of good information off of YouTube. I
Yes.
got some good interviewers on there, and we just pump out the content like you pump
You
out the
do.
content too. So yeah, come along and check us out. And psychiclizcross.com. I can only apologize. My calendar for regular readings right now,
Oh, I bet.
1 hour session, they're closed because it's so booked up in advance, but that's okay. I'm going to reopen it probably in February,
Good.
March
Okay.
time. But paper readings are still available. The Ask Erik, Ask Liz, and also the VIP is still available.
Awesome.
So yeah. And we do CTT healing groups every Monday, which are really profound.
Awesome. Oh,
So
you're
thank you.
awesome. You're such a wonderful light worker. Thank you. And thank you, Erik. I love you both.
Oh, thank you. He says thank you. He just blew me a kiss. He's like, thank you, Liz. Now he's
Oh,
pinched me. He just pinched my
oh,
cheek.
oh, Erik, you're so sweet. Anyway, you guys be sure you subscribe to her channel. Be sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell for both. Bye. Love you.
Bye.